Shalom, it's the Prince Kadash. I want to give all praises to you. How Bahashim, Yahweh Bahashim Kadash. We're going to get straight into it. I'm going to try to recall this the best that I can. But this is a vision that I had of the fathership. Man, this was scary, terrifying, very terrifying. I'm going to try to break it down exactly how it all happened. So I'm going to try to retrace my steps. Hopefully this boost brothers' faith. This would be to boost brothers' faith because I 100% believe that this was real. This vision that I had, and I had this last night, and I'm just now waking up, and I had to instantly just come and just make this video. Everything I'm finna say is real spill, all facts. Nothing's exaggerated. This is exactly what I seen, and what you're seeing on your screen kind of shows what I seen last night, so I'm going to retrace my steps. So it started off, when I laid down. Wait, camp, we've been doing breakdowns of Revelations, right? Each camp we doing Revelations 1 week, Revelations 2, Revelations 3. So we got the Revelations 4, and then you brothers know how Revelations 4 is, with the angels and the Lord and everything like that. So laying down, that was heavy on my mind, getting precepts, putting precepts together and the meanings, breaking it down before camp, you know what I mean? So we could be prepared for camp. Revelations 4, which, led me to Ezekiel 1. And I'm not going to break those chapters down. Those are the precepts that I will pull to go with this vision that I had of the fathership. Ezekiel 1 and Revelations chapter 4. Of course, Second Esdras chapter 13, but I'm going to save those for camp, and I just going to pretty much go to the vision. So as I started to go to sleep, that was heavy on my mind, just thinking about that and thinking about, exactly what it meant, right? Which is talking about the ships, right? So as I started to fall asleep, it's almost like I went into a trance, like like I wasn't trembling, but it felt like my spirit was trembling. So I was laid down and I started to fall asleep, but you know how your spirit was like, my spirit was really like heavy, but not in a bad way though. It almost felt like my spirit was coming out of my body. Like this is real shit, real shit. It felt like my spirit was coming out of my body because I was in heavy, heavy, heavy thought of the chariots for some reason. And what I seen was a gigantic chariot. Now every time I kept having this vision all throughout the night, and it always jump from one part to another part. And the first part that I would see is a gigantic chariot coming to cover the earth. Like it was coming, and I only seen part of it. I didn't see all of it, but it was a fathership. It was gigantic, and it was covering the earth. So I seen it while it was coming over the earth, right? And then the vision would jump from the chariot and it would jump to a man. I would see a man from the back. I wouldn't see a face or nothing like that. I would just see a man from the back, from like shoulders down, and he had a garment on like the garments that we wear at camp. Not the same color, because the color, I couldn't really get the color. The color was red, but then it was purplish. So it was kind of like both colors at the same time. But he had a, a garment on down to the feet, like to the back of his feet, and all I seen was his back. And it seemed like, from my understanding, he was standing inside of the chariot somewhere, a room or something inside of the chariot. And I seen a guard. I just seen his back. Like if you see shoulder, right, and down, I seen his back, and it was a garment all the way down to the foot. And then it would switch back to this gigantic chariot covering the earth, kind of like what you see on your screen. This was, I started to look for like a picture because I wasn't going to draw, and this is the closest thing I got. It was like the chariot was coming over the earth, and it was huge. I'm talking about, I only seen part of it, so bigger than the earth. And then of course it had the, what the world would call the shuttle ships that come from the gigantic chariot that actually could come and land on the ground. But like I said, we're gonna break that down at camp, right? And it led me to think about some other things throughout the night, and the spirit was very heavy on me throughout the night. I could feel it. I could feel it on my body. But the thing is like, it led me to realize that And I'm going to give this straight up. I'm going to give it straight up like this. Like, the Lord don't need any human being, anything that exists on the earth. The Lord does not need it. And that's the conclusion that I got to, because the power, the size of this chariot, like, it was so big that it was terrifying. It was so terrifying, and it led me to think like, look, the Lord don't need you. The Lord don't need me. The Lord don't need Israel. The Lord is interested in man, because what it says in First Corinthians 11, I don't want to butcher it, or but I'm roughly paraphrasing First Corinthians chapter 11, that man was created for Lord. Man is the Lord's entertainment, but the Lord don't need anything. The Lord don't need Israel. And then it led me to think throughout the night, and this is what I was thinking about throughout the night, on and off, right? That Israel, we are very lucky. We're nothing but worms, man, compared to the power of the Lord. With something that this big, this chariot, when you see this, it's going to be very terrifying. I know that's our salvation. We're going to rejoice because that's our salvation. But at the same time, you're going to be terrified of it just because of the power that is coming. In Israel, if anything, we're very lucky that the Lord chose us out of the man of the earth to have rulership on the earth with him. But this is bigger than Israel, man. That's the one thing that kept coming to my head when I was having this vision, that this is bigger than me, this is bigger than you, this is bigger than mankind, this is bigger than Israel. This is about the Lord. The Lord is coming back to take the earth for himself. This is bigger than us. And then the next thing that followed was simply, any problem that you got with a brother, any problem that you got in earth that you may be kind of heavy in spirit on, that shit don't mean nothing. We are nothing but pure worms, man. Ants, nothing. And our problems that we think is so big and so important means fucking nothing at all. When you got a gigantic chariot that's bigger than the earth that's about to come, man. Esau is a fucking demon. And they're fucking delusional, man. What can you do to a chariot of this size? A nuclear weapon is nothing. If they could pick up the whole earth and throw the whole earth at the chariot, they couldn't do damage. They couldn't do any damage to it. That's how gigantic this chariot was. And it was covering the earth. It was coming in slowly, covering the earth, right? And I only seen part of it, kind of like what you see on your screen, but I seen it from like a upward view down on it. I seen part of it, not the whole thing, man. Like I said, if Esau could pick up the earth, right, and throw the earth, right, at the chariot, he couldn't do damage. So what could a nuclear fucking weapon do? Esau is completely delusional, but we're in Esau's kingdom. So we got Esau's understanding of what space is, but space is not what Esau said. The universe is not what Esau says it is. And I got that in the vision too. Like, those words kept coming to me, is like, what Esau's saying that space is, what Esau's saying the universe is, that's not what it really is. Now, we look into those things and we go by those terms because we want to relate to the people of the world, but we have to remember that we are living in Esau's kingdom right now. So we go by his terminology, and we have to kind of study some of the things that he say he's fine, because he is in the rulership position right now. But we're about to get our rulership. But this was a big faith booster to me, because it made me realize, like, any problems that you got going on in life, any little strife, any of the bullshit, none of that shit matters, man. You'll be extremely, first of all, Israel, we're extremely blessed. Man, look, this was so terrifying. We are extremely blessed that the Lord chose us to be his people. Just that fact right there. Just that fact right there. Because the Lord don't need us at all. The Lord don't need Israel at all. The whole Israel, the whole nation, the whole body, the Lord does not need us. Now the Lord, you can say the Lord wants us, right? The Lord chose us, but he don't need us. And we have to get that through our head. We are